Hello, friends. My name is Jana Johnson. I'm here live at the Tree, South LA, and I'm excited to get into our nighttime yin flow right now. So go ahead and prepare your space, however it looks. Even if you're on your bed, this is something really great about our nighttime yin. We can really do it on our way to sleep. So I want you to go ahead and just see the space that you're going to be practicing in and just give a little gratitude for the space that you've cultivated for yourself. Let your space for your practice be like a personal cocoon where we can just go inward, connect, slow it down, take a rest, and then let our wings spread from there, right? So we're gonna get started reclined on our back. Go ahead and just slowly make your way there, mindfully. Feeling the spine as it starts to just roll down, gently laying the head on whatever surface you're on. And just keep the knees bent to start with the feet flat on the ground or wherever the surface is. I want you to feel your feet connected, grounded, rooted. And I want you to feel your spine nice and supported as well. Go ahead and close the eyes if that feels comfortable for you. Otherwise, just allow the eyes to soften, relax, settle into their sockets, and just let the whole head kind of soften and relax. Let that float down to the shoulders, the neck, softened and relaxed. Feel the arms, the palms of your hands, softened and relaxed. Feel the back of the hips on your yoga space surface right now. Let them be supported. Let the knees be soft and relaxed. And then again, just feel the feet, the toes, the heels, the arches, softened and relaxed. Now just take a nice inhale in through the nose. And open the mouth, exhale. With your next inhale, feel the whole body as one. And then as you exhale, just let it all soften and relax. Really good. We're gonna just take a few more moments right here. Allowing your awareness to just be settled inside your body. And if it doesn't feel settled right now, that's okay. Just set that soft intention. Maybe even go ahead and speak to yourself, giving your body and mind permission to soften and relax. So for our yin practice, we'll be holding our bodies in certain shapes for around 4 to 5 minutes. So what that really means is this is a practice of stillness, of slowing down. Breathe in. Breathe out. And we'll go ahead and take about 3 or 4 more breaths right here. Good. Now we're just going to move our legs. Everything else can stay exactly where it is. Take your time. Try to keep the back of your hips grounded on whatever surface you're on. And we're just going to start to lift our feet up to the sky. Now you may want to take one leg at a time and let the other follow.
What's up? Welcome back to my channel. Today
Or you might want to let both legs go up together. All right, got our music back. Let's go ahead and find ourselves here with both feet to the sky. And we're not rounding and forcing our legs to a particular place. We're just keeping our back all the way down to our hips, supported on the ground. And then we're just relieving any weight from our legs by lifting them up in the sky. So you might have the tendency to want to straighten your legs a whole lot and flex the ankles, which we do often practice in other styles of yoga. But for Yin, I really want to just give you the permission, encourage you to relax the muscles in these shapes. Rid yourself of the concern of making your body look a certain way. And instead, just allow your body to settle into the shapes. Staying with your breath. Got about one more minute here. Shoulders nice and supported, relaxed on the ground. just allowing that breath to be full and soothing from the inside. Good. Just taking off the weight from our feet, allowing that circulation and blood flow to just get a different kind of flow here. Let's just take about 3 more breaths. Good. And we're going to keep our legs lifted. Go ahead and allow them to be a little more active for a second. So try to get them straight up toward the sky. And then from here, we're just going to come to a wide-legged pose. And because we're holding these poses for a few minutes, definitely don't try to go to your deepest depth. Just come to a comfortable degree. And we're just going to take about 1 more minute right here. And if it feels like the legs want a little more support, first I would try to just breathe with that. But also you can bring the hands right to the side of your thighs to give a little support. But try to maintain that softness in your arms and shoulders. Soften where you can. With your next inhale, use those hands outside of your legs. If they weren't there, bring them there now. And then we're just going to let our legs come back together in the sky. Bend the knees and bring the feet back to the earth. Good. Rest the arms at the sides and just take a couple breaths to pause and feel. So our transitions and the spaces in between shapes are just as important as the time we're holding a particular shape. So just be with it all. Take another breath in where you are and out. 1 more breath right here. Good. And then we're just going to roll over onto our bellies. Let your body move slowly. Take your time. Good. We're going to come to Sphinx. Now, I'm going to turn just so that I'm facing the right camera, but you don't have to. All right. So our legs are now the ones that are flat, supported on the earth. We're going to bring our forearms to the ground, the bed, whatever surface we're on. Allow the palms to be flat, elbows under shoulders. So this is our Sphinx. Sometimes we have the tendency to overextend our spine and try to poke our chest all the way up. I want you to be relaxed with the front ribs. Allow them to just rest. And then from there, let everything else in the body also follow suit. Soften, settle in, and then reconnecting the mind with the breath. that's always our anchor, right? The breath is always that reminder to just feel from the inside. To just relax and to soften and settle. And again, feel free to close the eyes right here. Keep the eyes closed if you want the whole practice. Just allow whatever is necessary for you to find that ease and comfort. Noticing what comes to mind. And just being kind with yourself. This isn't the time to fight with your thoughts or try to resist or run away from or even try to grab onto. This is the time to simply observe and let it be, let it flow, let it pass. And then find that breath again. It's always there. Good. Now for our last few breaths in Sphinx, I'm going to give the option to deepen this a little bit by transitioning to Seal. So again, this is an option. If you want to take the option, reconnect with those palms that are flat on the ground. We're going to press into the palms, start to lift the elbows. And again, we want to keep that front of the chest, our rib cage, nice and relaxed. Again, don't try to overarch. Just start to lift a little at a time. Maybe the elbows straighten, maybe they don't. Keep the legs relaxed. And breathe. Wherever you are, we're going to take 4 more full breaths. Noticing, feeling, being present with. Good. And on your exhale, slowly bend the elbows again if you're up and still. And let the elbows go out to the side and just bring your forehead onto the backs of your palms. This is again one of those transitional shapes just to rest and release the pose we were just in. So just breathe and receive the feedback. Let's lift the head a little bit. Tee out your arms wide to the side. Hands are in line with shoulders. Rest them all on the mat. And then we're just going to turn. Bring your right cheek on the ground so you're facing your left. Relax the shoulders, the neck. Just giving our neck a gentle twist and some love there. The more we can soften and settle in the shape, the more we allow the intelligence of our body and the cells to do what they know how to do. To live, to connect with each other, talk to each other, and act cooperatively as one. The less we get in the way of it all, the more the greater intelligence can do its thing, right? And we just get to observe and be present for it all. We're going to take about 5 more breaths right here on this side. Let the shoulders really just not work. Be soft. Good. And you can keep everything where it is except for the head. We're going to move. Start to slowly, really slowly lift the head. Move it through center. Turn the other way and rest the opposite cheek on your mat space. And again, we're just allowing shoulders, neck, and head to soften into the shape. As you're ready, we'll come back to center with the head. Bring the palms right next to your rib cage. Hug those elbows in nice and close to the side body. We're going to press the palms down again. Come up onto your shins. And we're going to sit the hips back on the heels for a child's pose. Now, depending on how your spine feels right here and how your legs feel too, you might want to keep the legs together so that your spine can flex and round over. Or you might want to bring a little space between the knees. Keep the feet together if you take this option. And then let the spine rest forward. And that's just going to have a different sensation for your spine. This one's a little more neutral or extended. Whereas if my knees are together, my spine's more flexed and rounded. So choose whichever position feels best for your child's pose. Take a nice breath in. And let your exhale just soften the entire body as you settle into this shape here. check in with the body. Listen to the parts of the body that are speaking to you. Understanding the body's language is sensation and feeling. So that's a unique language that only you can understand from your body. So we're just taking the time to get to understand, learn, interpret our body's language as it speaks to us. Really good. Continuing to soften and relax. Super slowly start to bring the hands back toward your body. Use them on the ground to lift your torso up. Take a pause where you are. And then we're going to start to come to all fours just to transition to our dangling shape. So start by tucking the toes under, walk the hands closer to knees. Keep the head low as you start to lift knees and come onto your feet. The hips are going to lift. The knees can stay a little bit, and then we're magically in a forward fold, standing on our feet. Really let the spine and upper body just kind of hang toward the earth. We're decompressing the spine. And although it also feels really good for hamstrings and back of the legs to lengthen them, if it feels more relaxing to bring a gentle bend to the knees and just let your torso kind of rest on your thighs, then do that. You can grab opposite elbows and hang out here, or you can just let the hands rest wherever they fall. You might also want to shake the head yes and no before you find your stillness. And letting the breath soften and relax the whole body and the mind. Breathing in, breathing out. Take another breath here. We're going to come out of this shape the same way we came in. So keep your head low and hanging. Hands are going to come back to the mat space, and we're just going to walk them forward, slowly bringing knees back down. Good. And just come to a little table shape here. As we transition, before our next shape, just take one leg at a time and reach it back behind you. Extend it long. You can even shift your weight forward and back. Really feel into that hamstring and the space at the back of the knee. And then we'll switch legs. Good. Now coming back to all fours, we're going to get into one hip at a time for our dragon shape. So what I want you to do is just bring both of your hands over to the right side first. And we're going to just bring and step that left foot forward in line with our hands. And then you can keep your hands inside of that left foot that just came forward, but you can walk the foot out to the side a couple inches and then realign your hands back with your shoulders. Now, depending on if this is your practice or if you're just feeling like going a little deeper with it or not, this can look a lot of different ways. So this front foot could come forward, this back shin could go back, and we can come on to forearms. All right? So when I say you can do it, I'm saying it as an option, not as a necessity, right? You can stay right here where we were and just allow that hip to be a little spacious there. Find your shape and breathe. Now, if you're in bed or if you have props, this is another place where you could have props right under you and rest on those. Either way, we're just going to let body and mind sink back up, settle in, soften, and enjoy. Breathing into those spaces that are speaking to you, right? And so sometimes people ask, like, what does it mean to breathe into my hip or my hands? Breathe into them. And all it really means for me is simply bringing my awareness to that place of the body. So bringing my mind there first. And then with my mind on that part of my body, take a conscious breath. So that's sending breath to that place. Just like when you think of a loved one and you want to send them some love, you're just thinking of them in good spirits and then allowing that love to flow. So wherever you bring your mind, that's what's gonna get your energy and your attention, right? I think the saying goes, where attention goes, your energy flows, something like that. So where do you want to put your energy? are you putting your mind? Just asking ourselves the questions without a need for the answer to be a certain thing. All right, 4 more breaths for that left hip. Relaxing the hips as best we can. And before we say goodbye to this shape, I'm going to encourage you to just lift that left hand. Find some support wherever you are on both hands first. You can bring that left hand to the inside of your left leg. And then maybe you find just a little more space. Maybe. You can come on the knife edge of your foot, the outside edge. And again, I'm not pressing. I'm just allowing my leg to open up. Good. So 1 more breath here. And we'll bring the foot back flat, close the hip a little bit, and then just slide that leg back. Take just a brief child's pose, sitting those hips back, and just come onto your forearms. Again, taking the pause. You can even come off your hands if you want to. Roll out the wrists. Breathing in. Breathing out. Good. Let's come back to table. Same thing, other side. So you can walk the hands a little to the left just to give yourself some space to bring that right foot forward. And then again, realign your hands with shoulders as best you can. And that right foot can go a little bit out to the side. Find the shape that works for you. And then let the body just soften into it. And one of the greatest things that we can kind of extract from our yin practice is learning to trust. Trust ourselves. Trust your body. Trust your breath. When you find stillness and don't try to, fight that, or don't try to make it look a certain way, you just come to learn to trust how the body is talking to you. Trust the support of your own body, and trust that breath and life that's constantly flowing through it. Softening where you can, especially in the hip world. And breathing in those spaces that are talking to you. Noticing and embracing yourself. Take 3 more breaths right here, my friend. Really, really good. And then if you want to take that option again, bringing the hand inside the leg, allowing the foot to come onto the knife edge of the foot, and just maybe a little more space is found. Good, and then we'll release that. Take your time. There's no rush at all. Bringing that right leg back. This time we're going to tuck the toes under and just sit on the heels, taking a pause right here. Finding a toe squat and relaxing there as much as we can. So we're not going to be here for 4 minutes, I promise. Just a few more breaths. After that last exhale, slowly release that. And maybe just untucking the toes or giving the tops of the feet some love taps if you want. Good. Now let's bring the legs in front. Sit on the hips. We're going to come into a one-legged saddle, as they call, for each side. So we're going to start with keeping our right leg straight. Start to bend the left knee, and then bring the foot out to the side of you. And you might just land it right there with the knee bent and the foot back towards you. And there might be some space in between the knees. That's cool, all right? If you feel like you have a little more space, then you can grab that foot that's bent at the ankle maybe. You can bring the knees closer together, and you can bring the top of the foot flat on your mat. So it's okay wherever you are. Sometimes we start out with being kind of on the side of that foot. And maybe then with practice and just with time, feeling into making the legs a little more parallel, coming onto the top of the foot. And then last step is just plant the hands behind your hips. And you can stay right here, maybe even out to the side of the hips. Or again, depending on how you're feeling and the space that you find in your body, especially that bent knee, we're going to start to just slowly walk the hands away from us. Maybe come onto forearms. Maybe lie all the way back. But I want you to listen to your body, right? That's why we talked about understanding how the body's talking to us. And don't try to get to a certain look. Just be in tune with how it feels. And that's going to be your guide. Relax your shoulder blades, your arms, and your legs. Breathe. more breaths. And I'm going to continue to emphasize a slow release of the shapes. So use your hands wherever they are, but close to your body, to start to lift you back up. Nice and easy. And then lean to the side of that long right leg as you, again, slowly unbend the opposite leg. Good. Just bring it back front. Take a pause right here. Let the legs be light. And just breathe and feel. Let's keep that left leg long. We're going to get into the other side, bending right knee. Again, finding the shape that works. So start with the wide bend of that leg. All right? And then you can see about bringing it closer in the top of the foot. And completely normal for each side to feel different. So whatever it is, we're listening to the other side now, not comparing it to the previous side. Find your shape of the legs first. Set up your hands to support. And maybe you stay right here. Perfect. Tune into that knee, that hip flexor, and the front of your thigh. And just let it get all the space it can right now. And you may find that halfway through the pose, you want to go back another notch. Or you may find that the second or third time you do this, you go back another notch. But right here, wherever you are, is what we're going to let ourselves settle into. And maybe enjoy. Breathing into those spaces that are calling our awareness. You also may find halfway through the pose that you want to back off a little bit. That's cool too. Five more full breaths right here. And we'll slowly come back up to our seat. Unbend that right leg. Take that pause again. And just breathe and feel. bend the knees again, feet back, flat on our surface, grounded, connected. Use the hands behind you, and we're going to come flat on our spine again this time, just like we began our practice. But before we find our final shape, just hug those knees into the chest. Keep the back of the hips connected to the ground, and the tops of the hands can come to the tops of the knees if you'd like, or you can just allow the arms to be out wide to the side and flat on the ground. Just take a pause here, allowing the knees to come in toward the chest. Breathe it out. And then keeping our spine, back, hips all grounded on the mat. We're going to find happy baby by just opening the hips a little bit. And then hands can come to shins. They can come to tops of knees and just add a little weight there. Or they can grab the outsides of the feet and add a little weight there. Allow your hands to come to whatever point on the lower leg is most accessible and comfortable. Let your shoulder blades continue to relax. As the mind sinks back up with the breath, one of the many reasons why I believe yin practice is so important, especially if you practice other forms of yoga that are more movement-based or more flow-based. This is simply a complement to that. This is giving yourself the space to let all of your practice really integrate. So we get to give our muscles a little reprieve, and we let everything that holds our muscles and our bones together get a little bit of love. Our entire fascia system. That fascia is the connective tissue. It's like a web of tissue from the feet to the head, whole body, right underneath the skin. It stretches, it moves, it's pliable, and it also holds tension, anxiety. So as we can find a little stillness, we can let that tension and anxiety start to just float through instead of being stuck. Right? We know what it means to be stuck in our bodies, stuck in our minds, stuck in our ways. So in our stillness, we actually allow the unsticking to take place. Three more breaths right here. Good, and then we'll give ourselves a hug. Bring those knees back in. Wrap the arms around them. It's okay to round the low spine now if you want to. Maybe even lift the head off the mat and just hug yourself. Breathe. Love on your own body. Appreciate your own self. And let that be enough for right now. Take one more breath here. And slowly release the whole body flat onto your mat, Find your Shavasana. Last shape here of rest, of calm and serenity. Take a breath in and let the exhale just soften and relax the whole you, body and mind as one. Feel your breath get a little fuller, a little deeper. And you can stay right where you are. Just start to wiggle the fingers and the toes a little bit. And if you want, you can bring a hand to cover your heart. Let that other hand rest on top of the first hand and just take notice of your own heartbeat. Take notice of that unique rhythm, drum inside you. Just as we listen to the sensations of our body and how our body speaks to us, I want to remind you to continue to listen to your heart and how it speaks to you. Our heart that knows, that loves, that is connected. Breathe with the heart, be with the heart, and listen to your heart. If you're on your way to bed right now, just appreciate yourself for going to bed in a calm and clear mental space, making it more likely to wake up with a calm and clear mental space. And if you're not going to bed, just know that whatever you're going into next, it will be with a calm and clear mental space. So we give thanks for that. Give thanks for our practice. Give thanks for our body and our breath. Take a breath in and a big exhale out. We'll close our practice right here as we just continue to acknowledge that sacred space inside the self, and acknowledge that sacred space inside of everyone else. And we say namaste as just a mutual recognition of that sacred life that's in all beings. So feel that, be that, appreciate that.